What we do on land has a significant impact not only on human health, resource availability, and the health of terrestrial ecosystems, but also on the health of marine ecosystems. One example of this is white pox disease, which threatens endangered Caribbean coral and is one of the major factors contributing to why Elkhorn coral is endangered. Surprisingly, this disease is caused by a bacterium known as Serratia marcescens, which is not only found in diseased corals, but also in untreated human sewage. The human pathogen from untreated wastewater, along with other acropora diseases such as white band, have devastated populations of this once abundant shallow reef-building coral. Elkhorn coral used to be the dominant species in shallow waters and grew abundantly in areas of heavy surf. This species provides a safe environment for a variety of marine life, like fish and other corals. The city of Key West, Florida had issues with white poxical die-offs due to the leaky sewer system. The problem resided with the on-site disposal systems or septic tanks, which were not designed for the permeable limestone bedrock found in the Florida Keys. The town then upgraded their wastewater treatment facility. Since the upgrade, Elkhorn die-offs due to white pox has been significantly reduced. However, this pathogen may be prevalent throughout the Caribbean due to a widespread lack of sufficient wastewater treatment, thus causing an epidemic of white pox. The loss of these corals doesn't only affect the marine habitats, but also the people that depend on these habitats for fishing and tourism. Since this pathogen has been identified and outbreaks suppressed in Florida, it may be possible to save this species from endangerment or extinction by simply improving wastewater treatment.
Well, I'm Victoria Beasley, and I'm currently a grad student here at the University of Virgin Islands. And currently I'm looking at white pox disease that's been affecting the coral species Acropora palmata throughout the entire Caribbean. And basically I'm looking at if there is the same relation here as there is in Florida, whereas maybe the bacteria in the human gut is found in this coral disease lesion, and basically what the relationship is.
We have 8 treatment plants in the territory, and that's St.Thomas, St. John, and St. Croix. We have 8 plants. We run on average about maybe 4.5, maybe 5 million a day, 5 million gallons per day throughout the different plants. They all achieve secondary standard, which is at least 85% removal on the BOD and TSS.
This is the Red Point Wastewater Treatment Plant, and it's a 4.0 million gallon a day plant. Right now we're putting about 2 million gallons through it. It's mostly a biological process. We use very little chemical. We use actual microorganisms to treat the waste coming in. So the way it works is out in the city, we have lift stations that push the wastewater to us, and then we screen it. What we do is we aerate, and that adds oxygen molecules to the ammonia, which is NH3, and that produces NO3 and NO2. And then we can take air away, and the microorganisms will strip that oxygen, and now you get nitrogen, which is a gas which goes up into the air.
After the sludge is removed, this is what the product looks like. Pretty clean water. This water is then taken through a UV treatment process, where over 90% of the bacteria found in this wastewater is removed. This effluent is then sent offshore about a mile and is deposited into the ocean. The Red Point Wastewater Treatment Plant uses biological secondary treatment with UV purification to clean wastewater derived from town. However, we had little information regarding septic tank conditions used primarily on the north side of the island, or areas where connecting to the centralized sewer line is almost impossible.
In general, I mean, we do have a lot of failing septic tank systems due to, just the soil quality, and it just doesn't soak away in time. You don't get that proper percolation of the effluent from the tank. So we do have a lot of issues, especially in areas that are not, they have a lot of high concentration of homes, so you have a lot of saturation. In certain locations, it really might not be practical to, to expand the sewer line. Like for example, if you have an area where it's just a handful of homes, but maybe because of soil properties and things like that, they just need to put in a small system by themselves and reuse the water. That is more economical than us running a line there or putting in a big treatment plant or something like that.
Right. As it turns out, the effluent deposited on the south side of the island seems to be much cleaner than that deposited by septic tanks on the north side. We met with Victoria again to see if her results correlated with what we had just learned.
All of my water samples didn't have they had very low levels of Serratia marcescens, and they didn't have any enterococcus either, suggesting that the water quality was actually pretty good around my sites. But as of right now, it looks like Serratia marcescens that causes the whitepox disease in Florida is not causing this whitepox disease down here in the Virgin Islands.
However, if Serratia marcescens is not causing whitepox disease in St.Thomas corals, improvements to the wastewater treatment can still be made that will help the ecosystem. One such example is using the sludge as a fertilizer. However, at this point in time, the funding and demand for this process is not sufficient to make it economically feasible. Also, as Mr. Aubin stated, it is almost impossible to upgrade all septic tank facilities on privately owned land, which occupy a large percentage of the north side of the island. This is where we, as the people of the USVI, must step up and make the effort to clean and upgrade our own septic tanks in order to preserve our island's coastal ecosystems.